morning. Hello. I have started my video. It is Thursday. It's Jewelry Talk. I'm Susan Lennart. My company name is Jewels of the Nomad. I am here on Jewelry Talk every Thursday at noon, and I talk about all the other sides of jewelry. So, yes. Oh, hello. Good morning. Nice to see you guys. Celebrations. So nice to see you guys. Oh my God. So I love to talk about not only jewelry and the technical part of it through my intentional metalsmithing course, but with Jewelry Talk, this is kind of just a way for all of us to connect. I like to talk about, hello, good morning, good afternoon. I like to talk about, oh my gosh, historically, where pieces are from, how to connect with them, how to assemble, how we build, why we build. I'm an artist and I'm trained as an artist and moved into silversmithing. So for me, when I started building my jewelry originally, I did museum exhibits. So I've done exhibits at the New York Institute of Art, at the Smithsonian, at the Renwick. I've done, my work has really traveled in many series, outside of online. So it's like, for me, I love doing installations and conceptual work and all of this type of stuff. So I think a lot of people know, good morning everybody, nice to see you. A lot of people know I've been working on all of this kind of Moroccan inspired jewelry, like the pieces I have on, even the tiniest. I think people who know me might be surprised to see teeny tiny pieces, right? It's always good. Hello, good morning. Hi, Sandy, nice to see you. It's always good to work on your pieces all the way through, because actually I bought a commercial chain. I bought a bunch of commercial chains for these pieces because I was like, I'm gonna do some really cool small pendants, no matter what size I want to put them. This is part of the course too. I'm so excited about, some of this new work coming up with all this surface work. This part of it too, because it's using literally some ways where we're using the Indian dyes, incorporating them, and giving you height and dimension without the repoussé work. So it's kind of a little interesting way to do things to give you height. Like this one right here, really has some height and connections in here. I like doing hollow forms. Some people just do flat forms. Hi guys, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, nice to see you guys. Good morning. And so I wanted to say that as I was telling you that I bought a commercial chain. So for me as a jeweler, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. This works for like 20-year-olds with these great eyes that can see how to get it clasped, right guys? So it's like I'm in the process, I'm gonna have to design like a new closure for these dainty little pieces, but ones where my age, I can still get them around my neck, right guys? And I know I have 20-year-olds on here too, and just like love your eyes. Once you start doing all this silversmithing, I started wearing my magnifiers, and because you have to, you really now in your work you have to wear magnifiers because everybody looks at them HD and so close up. So this kind of is trying on your eyes. You just need more and more magnification. So isn't that interesting? Hello, you guys. Oh, thank you, Byron Bay. Love you, love you. I know. Here's another one here that I had worn last week. That's a pendant, and I love all the rays, the hollow forms, the surface work, of just thinking like, how can I decorate my surface? Of course, incorporating in the stones too. Here's one that I'm building because these two are so different. This one hasn't been pickled. I have to go back in and do a repair. But it's like when I'm here at my bench, how can I this one is going to be a bracelet. It's on its way to be a bracelet, kind of one of these. But how can I decorate my surface and incorporate such interesting work and then add the gems later? So it's another challenge to myself. Oh my gosh, it's like, we know these gems. If you want pretty, put gems on your pieces. You know what I mean? So anyway, all this surface work is so much fun. And I will talk about it at the end a little bit because I just opened up a course here in my It's so hot in here today. We're humid. So I just opened up, oh, thank you. I just opened up a course. You're not gonna be able to come, you're in Ireland, but thank you, Joni. So nice to see you. Oh my gosh, Mexico. So I did tell you guys, and I don't want to use up a lot of time at the beginning, but Mexico is closed, Morocco is closed. I am opening up a workshop in my studio right here for September 17th, 18th, 19th. And it's the first time actually that I will be teaching all this surface work in silver. So go to my website and my Shopify site if you're interested in signing up. You can see the descriptions, you can see the pieces here. I'd love to have you guys out here. I didn't even know if I was gonna open up my studio again, but I'm super excited about, you have to have done some work in the course, or at least the alchemy of soldering, to take this surface course. But oh my gosh, I'd love to see anybody in there. After I get done, with working with people for this surface work, it's really fun. Yahoo! Surface work in the studio. Sandy, you're coming to Mexico, so I'm going to see you in Mexico. That's going to be fun. So, what I want to talk about today for you guys, many different things, but oh my gosh, I launched Intentional Metalsmithing. We're launching this now. It's open for signups. I know most people here have signed up, but if you haven't, check it out. It's a pretty cool course. I wanted to talk a little bit today about assembly, about turquoise, and I was so excited, you guys. When I talked about turquoise once before, I kind of described turquoise to you guys. I had a whole, it's on YouTube if you guys want to know a little bit more information about turquoise. But I want to talk about design, but I am going to talk about this turquoise here. Let me show you guys this. This actually, I have really bad pictures of my turquoise on the website, but I want to show you guys, when I talked a lot about qualities of turquoise, and this is like an Asian turquoise here, and these pieces here, the blues are actually from the Bisbee, and they're actually mounted on a beautiful back, so they're nice and strong. But look at the lusciousness. What I want to show you is look at the liquid surface of this turquoise, even the Kingman. And this one is like a really good price. But these are more valuable because this blue turquoise is a little bit more rare, and it's from the Bisbee mine, and it has run out. What do you do when the mines run out? I think the Kingman is still open. The Kingman is one of the biggest. But if you really see the quality that's put into the turquoise and the liquid surfaces, that's kind of what you really want to look for in your turquoise and mixing them. And I wanted to show you guys just this piece because it was so hard to decide when talking about assembling. Oh my gosh, look at the gorgeous combination of these two gems together. It was hard, I actually used the surface work here, but I want to do another piece identical because with this little bit of surface work and the gemstones in here, you could really get a beautiful, beautiful look that I'm super excited about. So I went for the surface work this time. I know. I had to, right guys? But next time it's like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to do another one with this turquoise in there. How cool would that be? So, in talking about, this is the surprise for me. I think it's such a surprise. I think this is such a surprise because when I do talk about turquoise, and I really want to talk about turquoise in assembly and things like that today, but I found this book that I coveted. I don't even know, this used to be from Indian Jeweler Supply, which was a company it was a supply company. You love my style. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're all the same. We're our people. This is our tribe, you guys. Like attracts like. And when I get onto the Intentional Metalsmithing side, or I pop onto somebody's, I'll get on there, and if I like somebody's work, I want to get on and see your body of work and where you're morphing to and what you're doing. We all have a different expression of what we're saying. So you could take my course and love my work, but you are going to express yourself so much differently, which is beautiful. I'm telling you, when I used to teach, and I was trying to think of how many workshops that I really have taught, say over the traveling, for about 10 years, I taught maybe 8 to 10 workshops a year, with maybe, then I do 5 workshops every time I travel. So I was like, oh my gosh, how many times have I taught silversmithing and jewelry and assembly and all of this? So it's like, oh my gosh, for all this experience, I'm really finding a way on my own voice and how I'm putting my things together. But I do want to say, is it still available? Still available, guys. And I want to talk a little bit more about this in a sec. So thank you for letting me know, Lynn. Thank you, because this was my very first way that I started silversmithing. This book is, okay, now remember, sometimes when I talk, I'm usually with women. I grew up with 9 women. So we always hopped around, filled in each other's sentences. Like, that's how women talk. You know what I mean? So this book, Lynn, do you know, and I know Christina will pop it on, I got my book 30 years ago from Indian Jeweler Supply when there wasn't even hardly a Rio Grande yet. So this book, I want to say, is kind of what intentional metalsmithing, this is my core. And I'm going to show you guys, it's Indian Jeweler Making, Volume 1. There was a couple other volumes that I had, and I want to say it's a lot about Zuni silversmithing, and it is about, like this actually, I know everything is backward for you guys, but this is the Rustic silversmithing setup, and this was set up here from like the early 1700s all the way to like 1920s. And you can see the beautiful pieces that were made with this simplistic tools. It literally was a bellow. And I have seen work in Indonesia. You still order some stuff from there. Well, if Indian Jeweler Supply is still in business, I think you guys know, oh my gosh, my buddy, my good buddy that I can't remember his name, right? I'll think of his name towards the end. He has a beautiful stamps. He actually, one of the beautiful things about the original Indian Jeweler Supply was that all the workers there owned a piece of it, so it was really a cooperative collection, which was wonderful, and Danny Wade was part of Indian Jeweler Supply, and he has these beautiful handmade stamps now that are so raw, made out of files and made out of, I just love the stamps for the art pieces. I need to have like another little collection behind me. So, you can see the rusticness. So I kind of learned just with propane and in different ways, but, it was really an interesting way to learn. And, there's upgrades all through here, and it's very, very simplistic, which is what I try to bring intentional metalsmithing back to. I love Tim McRae, and I love his books that really he is the teacher of silversmithing, but in the universities, but it is so complex. It's university, it's for the university. So if you're a right brain artist, this approach of intentional metalsmithing, of Indian jewelry making, it's, if Indonesia, going to Indonesia and just seeing the beautiful way things are put together with the bellow, it's a simpler concept. As an artist, there's room in there for you also to put your design style in. Because to me, soldering and knowing how to join things is just a part of being a jeweler. Oh, good for you, Joni. Nice. So, Danny Wade. Danny Wade, you guys know he's not with Indian Jeweler Supply anymore. But if you Google him, he has beautiful stamps that he sells, and he teaches courses on stamping. And, please tell him that I referred you. Why not? Because I love him. So, it's really nice as an artist for me, because I believe that there's so much more to jewelry. It's like I came into jewelry from loving, when I studied as an artist, love shape, design, size, color, symbolism, talisman. When I traveled all over the world when I was in my 20s to try to figure out what I'm going to do for a living, as an artist, I found jewelry, purposeful jewelry. So that's what we do in intentional metalsmithing. I know you guys do too, because you're showing up here today. Purposeful jewelry that is about things that bring you happiness. Like, I love this symbolism and this surface work. I love this gem. This, like, for instance, this is a smoky quartz, and this brings grounding to you. and it keeps you generally in a higher consciousness. So that's what I love. I love finding out how to use shedded moose antler into my work, how to use stones, how to use really interesting materials. We all do. It's like life should be interesting. We owe it to ourselves, So the thing I love about Indian jewelry supply is or Indian jewelry making, is that you can see way back in time that people did things for the love of it, and you don't have to come about your jewelry making process from one way. It's so interesting for me because whenever I start launching intentional metalsmithing, I always have people that come in and they're like, this torch is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And it's like, really? Okay. If you want to see why, there's freedom. Freedom is our word. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, Madeline. I love you too. Yeah, I love everything you do too. See? So it's like, stamping is hard. Well, look up with stamping. There really is such an art form to stamping. So it's so interesting. It's like, I didn't know forging, hammering, your metal flat was such an art form until I had my nephews and my son and the kids. I was like, I'm going to have them hammer on my wire flat. I gave them bronze and I gave them each a hammer and stuck them out by an anvil and let them all hammer away. And I got the worst pieces I've ever seen in my life, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, there is such an art form to forging. And forging is in chapter 2 of Intentional Metalsmithing. It's all like the right way to use wire and for forging and all different rules that are in there. Thank goodness I'm different. Thank goodness Sandy is so different too. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun as we meet every Thursday. My graphic designer Karen Michelle, Christine and we're going through all of this beautiful work that everyone has contributed for Intentional Metalsmithing, especially like this first group of students that were so all like into their own work now and selling their own work. It's so beautiful to see. Yay. So yes. Yay. So absolutely. Thanks, Deb. And I wanted to show you guys this little collection that I have because, in assembling, this is the way that you start. Most people know how to start, but it's always nice. I think I like to show up here again, and talk about things over. Like, we know all this stuff. All I do is come in here and remind you guys if you, sorry, my video was paused, I think. So, so it's like, I just kind of, you guys all have different collections and maybe a year went past or maybe a couple months or maybe you changed. It's like, I went through this big shift in my work. I was talking about it in my jewelry talk when I'd show up. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm changing so much. And I'm still like, was just coming in and lining up gems, and which I love that work. But I was like, I felt so different. I felt like a change was coming in my work. And lo and behold, a change does come in your work. If you feel it, if you allow yourself that open space. So if you're ready to regenerate, I go in and I put my little collection together. I love, and for me, it's like when I'm looking at my turquoise, it's like, what would I put with these turquoise? I just kind of lay out some of these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Sometimes these pinks, I kind of ran across this pink that is just amazing. And it's like, I really love the way, these pinks and these blues and maybe a bigger stone here. And it's like, you just kind of line up colors about, if I'm going to use a bold turquoise, I always love these honey quartz that go with it, So it's like, you guys all know your colors. I was into, oranges and reds for so long. I'm really into these yellows and a lot of these colors, but it's like lining them up. I love putting my work on, when you have them on the white background, I just fold over some paper towels. You really can see how it's going to shine through with the light shining through, we love fossils. I just looked at this piece here, these two fossil pieces that we have, and it's like, oh my gosh, wait a second here. I'm putting together your work. Do I even need anything more than these three pieces lined up here, right guys? So it's like just playing, getting in, putting together new collections. Sometimes it's so much fun to even put together 20 different collections, and I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way in my lifetime I'm even going to get to the end of these. Good morning, Christina, stuck in traffic. So nice to see you though. Thank you for showing up. I told you guys it's hot and humid here, and I don't have the air conditioning, so I did set my workshop for September 17th because it should be really nice and cool in here. We just have had a lot of rain. Found a beautiful vertebrae on the beach. Yay! How do you clean it? Listen, if your vertebrae is, if the vertebrae that you found is, like this one actually is so sun bone dried out. You can take a nylon brush and brush it up. And you really don't want to do too much to it. You could put on a matte sealant, spray a matte sealant. Usually I'll spray just a matte sealant on my piece, and you will have, you don't want to get into anything shiny. I think this piece is crying for a couple gems to be placed out in front of it. I'm thinking, give me a couple gems to put on here. And so anyway, I wanted to tell you guys my turquoise, both the Kingman that have this beautiful shine and this Bisbee turquoise, I'm going to have on sale. I don't have the best photos on my website. So instead of taking them off, hi, nice to see you, Brenda. Oh my gosh, Brenda Alexander. You're the one that found the bone in Florida, right? Anyway, I have like a 15% off on my turquoise. And trust me that it is so beautiful. The Bisbee turquoise is very, it's a lot more expensive than the Kingman. It's a rare color. It's a beautiful color. Really interesting shapes. I'm kind of liking these really long shapes or arrow shapes that you can use as arrows in your work. I love all these arrows. So those will be on tomorrow. All my turquoise is on sale. So you're welcome to pop on there. So in talking about assembly today, I have another piece that I'm showing you guys. It's a big piece that I'm building. This is the way I want to show you how I lay out and design. And I know some people already know this process, you know what I mean? But I'm going to show you anyway. First of all, I'll probably just point it down because this piece is going to be all over the place. I design on trays, guys. So this is my tray when I'm doing a bigger piece. For me, it's like, you guys know how much I love this dance and performance piece. One of these, like I put one on a necklace, but there's more coming. This is the I want these to actually set up. I'm doing a lot of these pieces with a side, on the side, so they actually can slip. I'm doing like 20 or 30 of these pieces so they can slip right onto a leather, right onto the piece where there's hardly any movement except up and down. So that's when I know, I'm doing pieces like this. This is going to take me a while. I'm doing all these beautiful little bezel caps, but I really am, I hardly ever, I'm into all this movement. So if I don't want as much movement, these are all just going to be nice and long and a piece that just goes all the way around the shoulders and down the back. I don't know if I'm going to use silver yet or a leather, and this is going to be done in layers. So this one's a little different than this piece, but this piece is the beginnings. I have a leather collar. The back is going to be filled. I always love, this is the caging. I love the cages because the cages really create, Jeff! Oh my gosh. Hi, Jeff. Nice to see you. And Matt's on here too. Oh my gosh. You guys know Jeff Fulkerton. He is such an amazing artist, and here he is here. Thanks for joining. So, and nice to see you. I get to see you on Instagram. I'm just showing my design and my assembly process, the big stuff. So my stuff really is in a lot of multiples, you know what I mean? So it's like, I love putting in the negative cages because the cages and the negative space is such a great way to add bulk, but not take up space and take away from your superstars. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm still like, look at how gorgeous this glass piece would look in here, and up against the white, you can see the color, but I'm still have to decide, yes, no, is this gonna happen? Is this not gonna happen? But this is kind of the way I start, and I just kind of get in there and play around and move things around like that. Oh, I know the cages. You do love the cages. So, it's so funny because in all the different chapters of intentional metalsmithing, Some people, you know, you're going to find what chapter that you just grab onto it. And when you grab onto a chapter, just stay with it, because, you know, you learn so much staying within a concept for a long period of time. So, you know, for me lately, I've been just hollow forms and surface, which have been really fun, you know, and hollow forms and surface, but you certainly can do all these nice and flat too. So, hollow forms and surface, yay, because it's so tricky. I always love doing the trickiest, you know. The way that I'm going to start the course when people are here is just with a piece like this or a flat piece. You know, we'll build our surface, and then we're going to I like pushing. The only reason I like pushing into hollow forms is because to think of how can I make it more complex. Because if someone comes into my workshop, love hollow form, if someone comes into my workshop and I'm showing a lot of surface work and then I'm showing hollow forms on top of it, how do you know, now you've got another layer of complexity. So when you leave my studio, you've got a number of different ways that you can move your work when you come out of the workshop. So that kind of makes sense. So I want to tell you guys that I'm just staying on here for. Oh, thank you. You can have one too. So I'm just doing 30 minutes for Jewelry Talk now, because I just want to show up and, you know, inspire you guys and talk about different things of what I'm doing in my studio. I love seeing what people are doing. I put this big piece in the background for design. This was the one, you know, because I'm trained as an artist. I tell you guys all the time. So for me, it's like I build big pieces for the walls. You guys had an opportunity to, a lot of people purchased those ring holders. I have 2 of them that I have on my bench. Matt just was on here. Matt makes them for me. And then we can, he does wholesale. He can also do them, but we both have the same prices. So, but we, you know, we're honoring our jewelry by doing structures to hang pieces on. I know you can just see my tools back behind there, but, you know, I have hangers like this. With, you know, I have pieces like this coming on, or if you buy it, you know, there was a couple people that bought really big, beautiful pieces of mine, and it comes with a hanger where you can mount it on the wall, have negative, positive space, you know, have lighting between the lighting. And I see people building their own jewelry stands and ring stands, and oh my gosh, it's like honor your jewelry, you know, honor your jewelry. And this is a piece that I built last year or 2 years ago now for Milan Jewelry Week, and it really is to represent a rib cage. You know, it's to represent your chakras, your rib cage, and there's my turquoise in here. You can see how this little bit of turquoise really brightens up the whole piece, you know, when you're using a lot of the mastodon and naturals. Will I be getting in more carved, conus shell pieces? Oh my gosh, I certainly will try, you guys. I do have the walrus teeth in there now. I do have the walrus teeth, so that's really good. I'm going to Morocco, which that's where all the conus shell is. So I'm going to Morocco, and so is a bunch of us. We're going to get as much conus as we want. So for me, it's like we're going October 15th. I'll be back November 1st, and we have our whole group going, and I am on the hunt for all kinds of Berber jewelry and Berber components and conus shells, and all of that's coming, guys. And some people coming to Morocco, you're going to get your own. But I will have that. Will have shortly, you guys, is from India. I got a bunch of little components from India that were handmade by Crest in India. So I'm going to have those up on the site. Where today the only thing we have up, my package from India came in too late, so I'm going to do it that way. But it'll be on there soon. So I mentioned again, so if you guys, thank you for bringing up what you want to see, you know, when I search for, so when I go to India, which India is still closed, you know, that's what I used to do when I was in my 20s, is I went all over the world and I would collect talisman and unusual objects and powerful pieces and symbolic pieces, and I incorporated them into my own work. But this time I think it's just going to be for my store, Jewels of the Nomad. So that's coming up, guys. But for now, the only things that I will have on the store this week, well, I have my stuff, but I have my course. If anyone wants to come to my studio, it's a 3-day course. We can stay and build till our heart's content. We go out so Friday we come in, we get started. We're building, the pieces on there, all these new pieces. You guys are going to be my first people that we're building this surface work course with. And then we get into how the complexity of the hollow forms and creating your own shapes and size by the 3rd day and symbolism. And, we're working with dyes, and we're working with wire, and we're working with granulation. So you guys will get to do that. And we all go out to dinner together on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, we just kind of really get in and finish up and work. And and then also the turquoise. I have all the turquoise. I showed you guys the turquoise today. It is just beautiful and luscious. Looks like it's wet on top. The Bisbee is mounted. It's nice and strong. This is actually a grade 3A, triple A grade. The Bisbee, which is the blue. And then I have the Kingman, which is a double A. I mean, it's still pretty hard, but this is a double A, and this is a better price that you'll find on my website. Those are on sale. So, oh my gosh, Brenda came to my studio. Oh my gosh, she came in September, and I think it snowed. But we usually don't have snow. It's a freak snowstorm. Brenda came in from Florida, and we had snow in September. That's why I know we're not going to have this hot weather anymore. Normally, there's no snow. Or no, it was snow in March, right? It was snow in March. So, oh my gosh, I do have a pretty cool studio, and I've done a lot of work since then. It is pretty cool, and it's just fun to be here. And I have all my stuff. And that's the only times that I'm teaching, because Mexico's closed, Morocco's closed. I'm doing Morocco again in March, but that's closed unless someone canceled. So that's kind of my teaching itinerary. So if anyone wants to do one in person, though, that this one show up in September and you can be here. All right, you guys. Oh, so very nice. So turquoise sale, 15% off Friday through Sunday. Absolutely. So Jewels of the Nomad. So come on there if you're looking for beautiful turquoise thing to buy. I'm going to be working with my turquoise. Tomorrow I have a whole day of studio, so I'm super excited. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here on Jewelry Talk. On the fun part, I'm always so grateful to see you guys here, and it always is on design, and every time I can just give a little bit more input, but get in there and build in your studio and take one area of intentional metalsmithing. Oh no, Mexico is closed because we actually have an overabundance of people. But thank you, Deb. Mexico, I put it up there just like a couple weeks ago. It really is fun. There's a 5-day there. I'll open it up. I'll make an announcement and open it up. If you're on my mailing list, I open it up and then it usually closes right away. So, yay, Sherry's in Morocco. Oh, so nice to see you guys. Yeah, so it's just full. Morocco is full, and Morocco is full in March, but my studio is open, and we'll see. I'm supposed to be doing India at some point. When we do India, I want to do those fold over dies. I want to see the whole jewelry process when we go to India. So I'll keep you guys posted. It's not now. We don't even know when India is going to open. Oh my gosh. Love you guys, and I will see you, if nothing else, next Thursday here on Jewelry Talk. Bye-bye.